Welcome to the Grizzled Warmaster. My name is Doug, and today we're going to do a bit of a rambling video. Today I want to talk about why I think the Daughters of Khaine are one of the best armies to come out recently. And by that, I do not mean they are the most competitive or that they are, going to dominate the tournament scene or anything like that. What I mean is they are one of the best designed armies that we've seen in a while. While I've really enjoyed a lot of the armies that have come out lately, I really like my OC Bone Reapers. I'm really loving the Lumineth Realm Lords. I think that a lot of the other armies, like the Caradron Overlords and the Sons of Behemoth and stuff, they're all really cool, but they all have problems. In the way they are designed, and they lack a little balance for the meta, and even internally, there's some balance issues. For some, like the Lumineth Realm Lords, that's based on not having a full line. We'll see when the next battletome comes out how much better they are in that balance sense. But I think that Games Workshop has really hit the nail on the head with the Daughters of Khaine, and I hope that as we're moving towards third edition, that this is kind of the direction they're aiming for, where armies have Daughters of Khaine didn't get really anything new other than their endless spells / invocations. And obviously Marathi, new rules, but that's not a new model. We already had, the Shadow Queen and Marathi. I think the Melusai Iron Scale might be a relatively new model, but aside from that, this army is largely already exists the way it is. It has a good number of war scrolls, and I believe they are all fairly priced for what they do. But I think what the real genius of this battletome is how the army is structured, how they play into various strengths, and then how the army has its unique play style or styles. There are a few ways you can play it, but it kind of leans into this is what they are and this is how they're going to operate, and we're going to give them a lot of tools for that. So I want to kind of juxtapose that with some other misses, in my opinion, that they're not misses, but some areas where GW hasn't done as good a job. Let's take the OC Bone Reapers, for example. They, by and large, are an elite army, and I can't think of anything in their army other than special weapons that hits on a 4 or worse. Everything's 2s or 3s. But they have a ton of command abilities, endless spells, various tactics that you can do to increase their pluses to hit. You can get the skull, or not the skull, it's the skull that you can put down, that gives anybody shooting or attacking an enemy within a certain range of it +1 to hit. You've got Catacross who can give +1s to hit, and I believe there's some. That might be it. Anyways, and they have then reroll 1s to hit. So they've focused really heavy on this ability to hit, and then lots of stuff has not the greatest to wound. All of their battle line has the 4 up to wound, but nothing except for the Arch Cavalos Xantos to do anything with that, to modify that in any way. And I think that's a real kind of weakness in how that army was designed. And I know that's one of those, they're so good that you kind of have to give them a negative, but they could have done something different than have their endless spell be +1 to hit when they had other ways to get it, or already were really good at being able to hit. They also have the Praetorians, the Mortis Praetorians, have the ability to reroll hits, and then you have the Stalkers also can take the ability to reroll hits. There's a lot of hit. We're going to be really good at hitting. The Daughters of Khaine, on the other hand, they kind of spread out those bonuses. There's not a lot of pluses to hit. There are a couple areas, a couple ways to get pluses to hit, but it's mostly we're going to let you reroll ones to run. We're going to let you reroll ones to charge, or we're going to let you reroll ones to hit. We're going to let you reroll ones to wound. We're going to give minuses to hit, -1 to hit versus shooting, or -1 to hit versus melee. There's a lot of, they've kind of spread out all of these bonuses to kind of really give you a lot of ways to play the army, a lot of ways to supplement how well they do in combat, because this is the glass cannon army, which I love that. If you look through the War Scrolls, other than the Avatar of Khaine and Marathi / the Shadow Queen, nothing in this book has better than a 5-up armor. All of the heroes, all of the troops, everybody, it's 5s or 6s. That's all they've got. So they hit really, really hard, all of them. Pretty much everybody in the army has a way to hit you really hard, or do some other cool stuff. Like the Heart Renders and the Life Takers aren't really that hard hitting, but they can be and have other good aspects to them. But they all fill a role. There's we can run and charge, we can retreat and charge, we can throw our javelins and then fly away. We can run the shadow paths. There's all kinds of cool maneuverability buffs. There's all kinds of play the field, play the movement game, and then run in there, hit really hard, and then probably die. That's their glass cannons. Now they do have army wide 6-up damage prevention roll, which is cool, but realistically, it's not gonna save you when you're looking at 6-up armor, 6-up feel no pain, or however you want to call that save. Your guys are gonna die in droves. So you've got to play tactically with the layered attacks coming in. Play the objective game by screening people out. It's it's a thinking man's army, and I love that about it. I love that they're not good at everything, but they have tools to be good at almost anything. And it's like you pick and choose how you want your army to play. Do you want them to be really fast and hit hard? Do you want to double up on all of the protection stuff? Do you want to take all of the spells or the heroes or the artifacts or whatever to kind of really buff up how durable your core units, who are all kind of clumped together, can be? Sorry, I keep hitting the mic there, guys. So if you want to play it that way, you can, and then kind of maybe have some, your harpies running around capturing objectives with one little like Death Star moving around. You could play that way, or you can just flood the board with really powerful attacks and make your opponent choose, who are you going to succumb to? Where are you going to get bogged down? So I think it's a great army, and I like the way that they're now, and it's come in quite a few battle tomes recently. They're kind of limiting command abilities, or this command ability can be used once per phase, or this command ability can be used once per turn, or obviously this has been mostly a thing for a while, but the units can only benefit from this ability once per phase or per turn or whatever. But then just limiting it overall, so you can't go around and go, well, I've saved up 4 command points, so these 4 units all have these cool abilities on them. I get to have everybody attack in the hero phase, or everybody shoot in the hero phase. They can't do that, and I like that. And they have super powerful, in my opinion, a super powerful new endless spell in that Blood Rack Viper. Very good for 40 points. Very awesome. They have some great War Scroll battalions. You can put nearly your entire army in one battalion, and they are cheap enough. You can buy 2 battalions and definitely put, your army into a 2-drop list, maybe a 3, because the ones I would want to take don't make it easy to get both Marathi and a shrine into the list that I would want to play, because I want to play the guys who can jump around the shadow paths, the Doomfire Warlocks and the Harpies. Get them in, running around, taking the board. I think they're going to be so cool. One of my personal goals, this is just a little aside, one of my personal goals is I am going to try to collect all the elf armies. So I've got the Lumineth so far, but so it's going to take a while. But I'm going to try, and I'm 99% sure that shortly within 9th edition launching, or 9th edition, sorry, I switched to 40k there for a second. 3rd edition launching, we will get a Dark Elf army, whatever they're going to call them, then, the Shadows of Volgu or whatever. But we're going to get a Dark Elf army, and I think it'll be relatively soon, within a year. So that's going to give me 4 different elf armies to collect. So, it's a little money, but hey, give it a try. All right, the last thing I want to touch in this video for why this army is so cool is, despite how vulnerable they are and the glass cannon aspect of them, Marathi is a beast, but she's a reasonably pointed beast, I think, and considering the vulnerability of the rest of the army, I think she's a great internal balance tool that gives them something that can just stick in there and can stick in 2 different places. With her having the 2 forms, and combined they can only take 3 wounds a turn, that means you can gum up 2 different flanks with those, deal a good amount of damage, and have some cool abilities, and they're going to be around for at least 2 rounds. And the enemy has to decide, are we going to deal with Marathi, or are we going to deal with all of these things that we can honestly kill a lot easier? So I think that's a really cool aspect of the army. So I'm really excited to see how she plays. I've seen a few battle reports with her, and she seems as unstoppable as you'd think. And I guess if you really wanted to oh, well, no, she can't heal. So you can't take, because they've got plenty of healing in this army as well. So if you want to take several shrines and just keep those shrines buffed up and, healed up, you can do some damage with them too. So there are lots of ways you can build this army. That's another thing I love. Right now, that's the weakness of people like the Bone Reapers or the Lumineth Realm Lords. As cool as they are, there's not a lot of options to choose. And there's you can still get kind of creative with how you build them, but mostly it's like, I'm going to have some pikes, I'm going to have some archers, or I'm going to have Mortek Guard and something to support the Mortek Guard, whatever the case may be. They are pretty straightforward. Whereas in an army like the Daughters of Khaine, there are a lot of ways you could choose to play them, and I think all of them sound fun. So I know this guy's was kind of just a rambling video where I just, I haven't had a chance to really dig deep into analyzing everything point for point, damage output. I just know, seeing a few battle reports with them, reading through the, kind of glancing through the book, seeing the war scrolls, I had this kind of ooh, man, I like the way these guys are designed. So I wanted to say something. And I will, over the next few weeks, I'll really dig into this, and I may do a couple more videos on the Daughters of Khaine, what I think will be, at least semi-competitive ways to play them. The Daughters of Khaine and the Hedonites of Slaanesh, when they came out, they were kind of these guys were definitely designed to be right in the middle. There's nothing super, they are not really geared towards being top of the pile. I'm sure there are builds in there. They've got so many tools, both of them. And I think for Slaanesh, it's going to be Mortals Daughters of Khaine, not really sure which direction is going to be the most potent, but I'm looking forward to digging in and trying to come up with some ideas about what would be the most competitive way to play them. But all right, thanks guys, and I'll see you later. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you would, please share with a friend. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.